All right, so we'll make a start now. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for our monthly session. Today, we are so honored to have an amazing guest who will be speaking about resolving the refugee crisis with emphasis on women and children. So our guest speaker is in the name of, I'm so sorry if I'm not able to pronounce your name correctly, but you can correct me. Desire Mbonimpa? Did I get it correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. So a little background about our guest speaker. So Désiré Mbonimpa is a young Burundian refugee currently living in Rwanda at the Mahama Burundian refugee camp after the 2015 ethno-political security crisis in Burundi. He has a law degree and is currently an independent lawyer, mediator, and refugee advocate. Since 2018, he has founded and run an organization made up of refugees called the Nuta Think Tank to promote workshops to discover new talents in the search for better sustainable solutions to the migration crisis of Burundian refugees and other refugees in the East African region and elsewhere. Désiré Mbonimpa has already taken part in virtual advocacy sessions for the well-being of refugees of all nationalities and has already published many advocacy articles for refugees on his LinkedIn. In addition, he's also the founder and manager of a refugee and non-refugee community mediation initiative, Jume Pro Limited, which is Justice by Mediation Program, which helps refugees and non-refugees resolve their disputes in their communities without having to resort to the most costly legal procedures for very poor refugee and non-refugees. Since 2020, Désiré Mbonimpa has been committed to promoting peace through peaceful means, which is dialogue, tolerance, community justice institutions of the Abagashin, sorry, I'm not sure if I pronounce it, Abashinga Tahe Order, yeah, Conference on Good Social Cohesion. So thank you so much for joining us today for this session, Desire. Is it Desire? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, Désiré, the same.
Oh, Désiré. Okay, amazing. So thank you so much for joining us to have a conversation about this very important topic. So the ball is in your court, so you can, begin. I'll introduce yourself and then, we can just set the ball rolling.
Yes, thank you very much. As you was saying, I am Burundian refugee. My name is Désiré Mbonimpa, and I'm very happy to take this opportunity to share some of my activity with you and with other persons who will follow our session. I'm very happy to meet you, and it is a great chance for me to make more refugee advocacy by focusing on women and the children and refugees.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, so I'll just try and share it again. I was just trying to
Yes.
get that. Okay, that's it. So we can have a start whenever you're ready.
Yes, I have prepared a document to share with others related to searching for solutions to refugee crisis. The topic as it is resolving refugee crisis, women and the children in Rwanda. It is a presentation of me, of course, on behalf of the Nuta Think Tank, a refugee-led organization in Rwanda for refugee advocacy because we work as a team. You can go to another slide. Yes, this is a logo of the think tank. As he was saying, Bio, Désiré Mbonimpa, we can go to another slide. Yes, okay. Refugees in Mama refugee camp and elsewhere in Rwanda are well assisted in general. Refugee women and girls in Rwanda are generally of and living in Rwanda since 1996.
Desire, if your sorry, if your internet is jogging up, you can turn off your camera and see if it works better, because sometimes it does help. So yeah.
You say?
I'm saying that if you're facing internet issues, you can turn off your camera and maybe it will work better if it helps. Yeah, let's give it a go.
Okay. I was telling that refugee women and girls in Rwanda are generally of Burundian and Congolese origin. Congolese refugees began taking refuge and living in Rwanda in 1996 are Tutsi and fear for their safety because of ongoing wars in East Africa, in east of the Democratic Republic of Congo. We, the Burundians, have been Burundian refugees in Rwanda since 2015. At present, many women and children are in refugee camps, while others have preferred to live in towns, or in other words, in urban centers throughout Rwanda. While some countries in the East African community take several restrictions on the movement of refugees within their territory, Rwanda, on the contrary, gives women refugees full freedom of movement and the right to seek work. The women work for the survival of their children. Freedom of movement is a major advantage that female refugees still enjoy thanks to Rwanda's excellent migration policy, which gives everyone, it means refugees and non-refugees, equal opportunities to develop on Rwandan soil. As they fled with no livestock and no money, because the money remained in the banks in Congo and Burundi, and even a lot of money was stolen when they were taking refuge in the middle of the road. The refugee women had to look for ways to find the money they need to survive, to go to the market, so and so on. To increase the savings of or fortunes of those women in exile, the Rwandan government has put in place a policy of partnership between Rwanda and non-political national and international humanitarian organizations. This has made it possible to collect substantial funds for distribution to associations of refugee women who have organized themselves to run small businesses in the form of cooperatives. As you can see, this picture shows women in development activities, Mahama Camp. There is resilience of refugee women through basket weaving, the project to develop themselves. The non-political humanitarian institutions, because there are many in refugee camps, I can give UNHCR, USAID for school feeding, Caritas Rwanda, Inkomoko Company, Microfinance, Umutanguha, Meso Shalom International Jambere Project. There are two main groups of refugee women, widows, and girl mothers still at school. Let me explain each group. The first group is widowed women. Those are women whose husbands were killed in Congo and Burundi because of their Tutsi ethnicity or because of their political opinion. Some of these women even suffered cruel, inhuman sexual violence and inhuman and degrading treatment before arriving in exile here in Rwanda. The second group is doctor mothers still at school. These girls are extremely traumatized by acts of sexual violence in Congo and Burundi. Some of them have fled alone, while others have come into exile with their sisters and brothers, both fatherless and motherless. Major psychological and social trauma is difficult. These girls are at school, but sometimes drop out because of a lack of hope and societal morality for their probable better future, near or far. Rwanda and its partners are doing their best to ensure the protection of those women living in such a serious situation. The NGO Caritas Rwanda often gives these women clothes and also gives them credit money to make them self-sufficient. UNHCR helps to protect their rights in
Hello? Hi, Desire, we lost you. Are you still there? Hello? So sorry. I think there's some internet connection problems. So hopefully we'll have Desire back with us soon. Oh no, I think we lost him.
Yeah, he might be trying to reconnect. We can just wait for some couple of minutes and see if he joins back.
Okay. Apologies. These things happen, internet connections, and yeah. Hi, Desire. Yeah, we lost you there. Hello? You're mute.
Yes, thanks. There has been a problem of internet. I
Yeah,
can continue.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
sure.
I was telling that UNHCR helps to protect their rights in the event of injustice in their respective places of residence. Inkomoko Company, which is a financial organization that works closely with refugees, often gives money as a debt or credit to women's business associations, and these loans are repaid at an affordable rate of interest, more or less 5%, it depends. The Jambere project program, initiated by the Rwandan government in partnership with the World Bank Group, gives money to refugees, including women, and only 50% is repayable, which is a good initiative. This initiative is the most important in the refugee camp and elsewhere in the urban centers of Kigali, Huye, Nyamata. These are areas in Rwanda. At present, because of war in Ukraine, because of the COVID-19 crisis, we remember the situation, the crisis, because of the war in the Middle East, there has been a reduction of food aid to refugees in East Africa. Each refugee receives between USD 10 and USD 0 per month, depending on categories of refugees, which is almost nothing, and makes it easier for women to become economically dependent, and even men. Here is a list of food stuffs and their practice in the local currency and the foreign currency. So here, I wanted to show the prices for each product for which we need to money to go to market. Normally, when we see how is the price, the food stock price on market, cooking oil, beans, maize, flour, quality rice, small tomatoes, onion. We tried to make estimation, and as we are refugee, we know what is on the market. Generally, if possible, it would be better for refugees to find at least 30 US dollars per month, because when a refugee saves only 10,000 per month, it is very few, very few. We wanted to make recommendations for different organizations, individuals, particulars. So I would ask the United Nations to increase food aid for refugees. Each refugee should receive 30,000 Rwandan francs per month, if possible. Also, I would ask Rwanda and the UNHCR to facilitate the resettlement program for these unaccompanied women, girls, and children, to send them in Europe, Canada, and elsewhere, such as USA, like for sustainable solution. Also, I would ask international voluntary organizations to do more advocacy to facilitate the refugees' right to international protection. This is because women in refugee camps see the friends of their enemies, and this traumatized them more. I would ask the UK, United Kingdom, and other countries around the world to warmly welcome unaccompanied female migrants and give them asylum more easily. Finally, I would ask all donors or benefactors to support the work of Delta Think Tank in Rwanda by giving us grants, even small grants, it depends. Our refugee-led organization, Delta Think Tank, needs at least 50,000 pounds per year, as we are a team of 64 refugee advocates in my organization, in our organization. 14 staff, personnel, and 50 volunteers. We work as a team. Those are references. Anyone may go and.
Okay, do you want me to share or should we just go on?
Yes, there are other pictures. Okay. You can go slowly. Here, I want to show you that there has been some project to help women's refugee women in Rwanda. You see, there has been an inauguration of Women's Opportunity Center. There is a center in the Mama refugee camp to help women and the girls to develop themselves, to make them more independent economically. Another picture. Okay, collaboration between the government and the Rwanda and the UNHCR agency has turned Mahama refugee settlement into a model town 2 years since opening. It was in 2017 when there has been a project to build a room to reserve, to gather women with project, and they help them to develop their project. There you see the picture for refugee camps. There are a good house. Thanks to international IOM, the National Organization of Migration, and the Rwanda government, there has been a project to build a house for refugees. You see, it is like a city. Of course, Rwanda do whatever it can, and with other partners, you see, it is a very good place here. And yes, this is the room. It is a house for women and the girls where they enter, they prepare projects, and they are often supported by Shalom, by UNHCR, Caritas Rwanda, a Catholic Church organization. Yes. And here you see women who were working on their business, on their project. You see women, Mama Refugee Camp women formed initiative Feminine Cooperative. It is a feminine cooperative where they make handcrafts, sewing traditional patterned textiles and hand woven baskets. Agaseke in Kirundi, Nyarwanda. Thanks. Thanks very much. And this is a logo for Pro, Justice by Mediation Program, because we make a mediation in Mama Refugee Camp to avoid to go to make a legal procedure, which is very expensive. We help them to settle small disputes without going to court. It is a sub-project program of the Delta Think Tank. Yes, can I continue? Another slide. Yes, here I have done I have done internship in Rwanda Investigation Bureau. I have discovered how many women and girls can become victims of economic dependence. I discovered that if food assistance can continue to be more for refugees, some crimes may not happen, because when a woman is very dependent, sometimes she can make prostitution, some crimes because of poverty. So I have discovered that if UNHCR increase the food assistance, it will help to reduce sexual violence, prostitution, female dependence. These are my contacts. Yes, this in my telephone, WhatsApp, email. And this is a link for LinkedIn. And thank you very much for having given me the opportunity to share some of our activities. I hope that together we can continue to raise voices for refugees, for women, for girls, for children. You know that I'm in Rwanda, you are in the UK. Recently, there has been a UK-Rwanda partnership treaty for relocation of refugees and asylum seekers to transfer them from UK to Rwanda. Today, there is a problem of security for asylum seekers in UK, where there has been, I watch information, I watch two TV, YouTube channel, where there is problems of migrations. I think that the lasting solutions to refugee crisis, first of all, is for us Africans to share ideas about what would be better for us to gain good life. Where could I live? Where there is safety, where I can work, where I can study. Because of course, I am a refugee. I can say I want to go to Europe. Of course, in Europe, it is a continent which is very rich. But of course, we have to think about our own problems and how to resolve those problems. Because I can go to UK, but maybe I can't find a easier life if I didn't study, if I don't want to work. It is very difficult. So for the question of resolving migration crisis, I think that as we are activists, we can continue to discuss as intellectual, those who are literate. I have studied, I know how to write, how to count. So we can continue to discuss about our own problems, because even in UK, there are good whites who receive with good heart refugees, while there are others who hate them, who do whatever to try to kill them. So we are in a great struggle in nowadays. There has been COVID-19. There has been considerable reduction of food in East Africa refugee camps. So I think to continue to discuss about our own solutions, our own problems, we can find finally sustainable solutions to our problems. And I thank you very much for having given me this opportunity to share my activity, because I know you have friends, you have family, you have other organizations, partners. I hope that a better future for Africans, of course, for also ASEANs, but for Africans, I think the better life it is still possible.
Thank you so much, Désiré, for that presentation and the inspiring words. And I mean, you're absolutely right. I am an activist myself, and I volunteer with the One Campaign, which is a advocacy organization geared towards ending extreme poverty and preventable diseases by 2030. And just last year, we ran a campaign, which is the In-Donor Refugee Cost Campaign. I went to see my local MP, and I presented the research that had been done by the One Campaign and telling the Home Office how they can address some of these issues. And one of the reasons, or one of the things that struck me about the campaign was pleading, or should I say, lobbying the UK government to create an additional budget for refugees and not to like dip their hands in the budget that is geared towards ODA, which is the Overseas Development Assistance, which has been cut in the past couple of years. It was at 0.7%, but now it's at 0.5%. But we are hoping that the new government under the Labour Party will restore it. But yeah, like these refugee stories, or these this knowledge that you shared with us is so profound to me, because sometimes I can't understand because I've not been in that situation, but I can only imagine the kind of harsh realities and yeah, the harsh realities that they have to deal with. And kind of interconnected, because I think you mentioned about the East Africa's war hunger crisis. So sometime early last year as well, I was in Parliament with someone activist as well to lobby MPs towards ending the East Africa hunger crisis, which is caused by consequences of climate action, or climate crisis, sorry. So these are some of the issues that for myself, finding myself in a developed country like the UK, I try to use my voice and my time, my resources, basically, to advocate for change for people like yourself who are still fighting. It's not like the journey, or should I say the fight is over. It's still going on, because there are wars here and there. We always hear about it on the news, and people dying, and people not being able to survive, and some of them caused by the consequences of climate crisis and all that. So for me, as a person, as an activist, that these are some of the issues that I've added my voice to in the past couple of months, or should I say year. And I hope to do more as well, as much as I can do. So thank you so much for that presentation, and we appreciate you for being here, sharing your story. And I'll leave it up to Michelle is here. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for coming. If you have any questions for Desire, feel free to shoot, and Taiwo as well. Please do feel free. I have some questions, but I'll just leave it to you guys, any of you, if you want to go first.
Okay, well done, Gertrude. Well done, Desire. Thank you so much for the brilliant presentation. Like, it's really, really inspiring to hear from your story. And thank you for what you do with your think tank. Like, you guys are doing, a great job in protecting the right of refugees and advocating for them. But I was wondering that your think tank, do you have, maybe social media handles where you better spotlight what you do and, champion your advocacy via those handles?
Yes, thank you. I often use LinkedIn and YouTube channel. YouTube, it is Denuta Think Tank, and LinkedIn, it is as I gave you a link. I often use LinkedIn and YouTube. I don't yet create a website, but now I use as a social medias, LinkedIn and YouTube.
Oh, very interesting to hear that. Well done. Very interesting to hear. And I would just encourage that you continually update, every of your efforts. And also you might try to create a Twitter account, because I noticed that most of, all these agencies you are seeking funds or grants or support from are mostly active on Twitter, based on my own, I'm a communications person. So that's, from my professional experience. So the likes of you said, you are in all of them, they are most active on Twitter. So you might want to be tweeting, tagging them in your tweets and all of that, and showcase, maybe in pictures and videos, what you guys are doing at the refugee camp in in Rwanda. So well done once again. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much. As you are in UK, you see maybe when you see for crowdfunding or fundraising websites, it is often difficult for African entrepreneurs or African activists. For example, GoFundMe and the other websites for crowdfunding. It is not. It doesn't function in Africa. So together we can continue to develop refugee advocacy and also to help one another just to find technical or financial support to work. But before all, first of all, is to continue to exchange ideas as we are Africans. I think we are still young, I and you. So continue to share ideas, continue to share experiences. Finally, God see everything and is ready to help us whenever we are.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I mean, feel free to reach out to us as well, like if we can support in any way. I mean, that's why we are here as a network to support people like you, young change makers, grassroots activists who are working in difficult and challenging environments and conditions. And like your story is just a representative of what we stand for. So yeah, do feel free to, if like maybe Taiwo, like Taiwo said, he's a comms specialist. So if there's any way he can help you, guide you in kind of improving your social media visibility, yeah, please do reach out to us, and we are always available to support people like you. Michelle, do you have any question or any contribution as well? Please feel free.
Hi, my name is Michelle. Hi, Gertrude. Yeah, and thank you so much for everything that you've just contributed, Desire. It's so interesting to hear, as Gertrude was saying, the perspective of being in a different country. So I'm in the UK, similar to Gertrude as well, and also with the similar organization. So it's nice to hear sort of the insider perspective of what's actually going on in, Africa and in different specific contexts, how it's affecting women, because that's a particular interest of mine. So I have no further comments. I think you've explained everything so well. And yeah, it's a privilege to hear from you. And thank you to the GAN committee for actually organizing this and making a way for us to like learn more. That's been really great. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share, Desire? Or I have a question, but I just want to check if there's anything more you'd like to share with us from, well, what we've said so far, me and Taiwo, or Michelle as well, and then we can go on from there. I was asking, do you want to like respond to like Michelle's comment, or do I go ahead with my question or what we said so far? Can you hear me?
Yes, you say that if I have a comment.
Yeah, do you have anything else to add or to share before we proceed?
Yes, thank you. What I can add now is to request for any better ways to find a small fund.
Thank you.
For internet. We use them often sessions, workshops with other intellectual refugees to discuss about how to find peace using peaceful means like dialogue, tolerance. Because often we are unhappy and we can have bad ideas. When you have bad ideas, often you think, I have to struggle, I have to fight. No, it is not necessary to be unhappy always. We can find solutions using reading books, history of this East Africa, the necessity of promoting peace. So we now need small financial means to work well. That is why I wanted you to try to stay with us in order to increase visibility in
Yeah.
order to
Absolutely.
find.
So, yeah, like I said, you can reach out to us after this call or going forward. Like, if there's any way we can support, that's one of the reasons that we are also here to support, like I said, the likes of you. So I want to ask a question. It may be a bit more personal question. So I'd like to ask, how long have you like been living in Rwanda as a refugee? And then what has been like the most challenging experience so far that like you've experienced or survived as a refugee since you've been in Rwanda?
Yes, thank you. I'm in Rwanda since 2015. Now we are in 2024. So
9 years.
years,
Yeah.
8 years in Rwanda. The challenges I have faced, and some of them I continue to face them, is that I found myself in Rwanda, of course, without scholarship, because when I was in Burundi, I was at University of Burundi. When you are not a refugee, of course, you have all human being rights, but when you become refugee, there are some rights that will never be used by you. Yes, for example, I can't access scholarship of Rwanda because I'm not Rwanda. It is normal. Even all Rwandans can't access to university. It is very expensive. So the challenge is not finding money to go to school, to go to university. It is difficult. Primary, secondary, it is free. Student go to school, primary level, secondary level, but at university, it is difficult. This is the first challenge. Another challenge is that I have psychological problems when I live alone without my family. One month, a year, second year, you see. To find a job you can apply, it is not a great challenge because each refugee have refugee card, which you can take by looking for a job on website and there's a government website to register your skills, your certificates. Then you wait for a call for a job. So the main challenge is not finding money to survive where in the asylum country. But there is security, no problem. You can move whenever you want. The challenge is not finding money I need to live as I was living in Burundi.
Yeah, and you mentioned something about not being in touch with being cut like from your family. Like, are you still in contact with your family, and like how is that
Yeah,
related?
yes. Me, when I was in Burundi at university, some are in other countries, and of course, some remained in Burundi. Why? Because me, I have to tell the truth. When I was in Burundi, I was at university. There has been political problems within political parties. There are laws in Burundi. You remember, you have heard that mandate of Nkurunziza, second mandate, it is the second term, it is the third term, so conflict. Me, I'm not a politician, but when you are a human being, of course, sometimes you can feel fear. You can be afraid of a, a new situation. In Burundi, I listened to radio today. This person has been killed. That person has been killed. So when the political parents, the political leaders when they are going to make assassination killings as a small individual, as a small citizen, I have to be afraid of this situation. But if the political parties understand each other and they accept to build Burundi, because in politics, all parties all political leaders cannot become president. It is not possible. There must be the winner and the loser, and all of them must respect each other, build the country as one nation. In Burundi 2015, for me, if the president would be that one, for me, every person, no problem. But there has been fear, there has been very problems in Burundi since 2015. Even now, some politicians, there is the lack of political cohesion in Burundi since 2015 till now. But of course, I hope that whenever there is real Burundian unity, I can go back to Burundi because I love my Burundi. With my bachelor degree in law, I will help my fellows, my compatriots, Burundi. So,
sorry, there's a question from Michelle. So she's asking, is there any way that your people, we can donate to help with your work? Like, do you have any means of receiving some sort of funding? Like, if let's say we wanted to help you financially, is there any, do you have any existing means that people can donate to support your work?
You mean the way I may use it to receive money, or?
Yeah, like how we can donate. So do you have like any, like you mentioned GoFundMe and some of these other platforms are limited or do not work in Africa.
Yeah.
So like
Yes.
if say we wanted to help you financially support your work, how do we do that?
Yes, I saw that the worldremit.com is useful because I have my mobile money in Rwanda, my telephone. I can use WorldRemit. Also, I saw that Western Union or RIA as international money transfer ways can function.
Okay.
Those are some ways, or international bank transfer, because I have a bank account in Rwanda. To open account, as a refugee has refugee cards, you can open account. It is very simple. So I have an account in a bank in Rwanda. If I find a donor or someone who can support me, there are many ways, like WorldRemit, Western Union, RIA, or international bank transfer.
Okay, so
Yes.
I think after this call, so Taiwo, maybe we can talk about that after the session. If there's any way we can come in and support you with like creating a platform, and maybe we can help you promote that, and we see how it goes. I mean, it always has to start from somewhere because you're doing like important work, and I think people like yourself with that lived experience and still like within that living in that same sort of environment, challenging environment, deserve that support and push. So yeah, we'll definitely talk after the session. I think another question I think this is my last question because we are sort of running out of time. Okay, so Michelle is asking, can you kindly leave your contact details so I can get in touch to find your bank details? So in the chat section, I know you left your details on the your presentation, but if you can leave it in the chat section as well, that would be great. So she can have access to that. So thank you, Michelle. So I have another. Okay.
Yes,
Go.
yes. If If she wanted that I share in
the chat, like so in the chat
the
section.
chat, yes,
Yeah.
yes, I can. I have a document. I can make a copy paste just now, and
Okay.
wait one few seconds, and then.
Okay. All right. So can I move on to the last question whilst you're at that? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So my last question, you in your submission, you mentioned something about women needing economic independence, and if not, or the opposite of that is they going into prostitution and all other means of survival. So can you tell us, or can you share if you what that like means, or can you kind of delve into that a bit? Do you have any experiences to share regarding that? Do you know of maybe certain people within the refugee camps that have kind of pursued that route, or is it something that is statistics, or like I just wanted to, because as a woman, like, you know, it's kind of difficult when women find themselves in such situations and they have to, you know, be succumbed to such to go into such profession or such things, I would say. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. In Imam refugee camp, there is an organization which is Save the Children. Save the Children International
Yeah.
has a section of a group of persons who works on young doctors.
Mm.
So I can't give the exact number of the women who made the prostitution like a job because of economic dependence. I can't give the exact number, but there are small bars near refugee camp. Today we are in 2024. The camp, Mama refugee camp, has been opened in 2015. In 2018, more than 3 or 5 girls per week leave the camp and they go in other areas in Rwanda without informing Minema, it is a ministry in charge of refugee protection, without telling their parents where they are going. Finally, they come with pregnancy. They tell their parents or their sister, their brother, we was at work, we was working in house, we was working in Kigali without requesting permissions, because in Imam refugee camp, when you wanted to go to look for job, Minema Rwanda has planned a program to give authorization to refugees when they want to go outside refugee camps, just to help them for their protection. Unfortunately, some of them continue to leave the refugee camps, like women and the girls. They go without requesting permissions. When they come after 3 months, 4 months, some of them come with pregnancy pregnancy. So I don't have the real statistics, but there is increasing crisis of prostitution situation made by women and the girls because of economic dependence.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Like, I just wanted you to share, like, if this is something that you have like knowledge of, or maybe you have statistics like to back it, but yeah, that's fine. So I think my next, not a question, but it's just I have like two two things you want to say. One, I'd like you to share your final words or something that you'd like to say to some of these international organizations, UNHCR, IOM, and these organizations that are geared towards supporting people like yourself. Like, what would you like to tell them? And the second one is also the origin of all these the politically influenced wars that allow people, or not allow, but that force people into some of these other countries or difficult situations or environment. Like, what message do you have to these two people, the organizations that support you, or that are working to support people like you, and the political the politics that kind of lead to these wars that force people like yourself to leave your country under such difficult conditions?
Yes, thank you very much. The first thing I can tell to UNHCR and other UN organizations is to ask them to organize a global conference of the richest states, because UNHCR can't work without financial support given by states. So I want that there is organization of high-level conference between USA, Russia, European Union, UK, Japan, China, and to decide how much money one refugee in East Africa refugee camps could receive per month. I want to say that. Why? Because, of course, there has been COVID-19. Many persons have died. Even the white, who are very richest, have died. And now there is war in Ukraine, a new crisis. Some persons think that there is maybe there has been First World War, Second World War. Maybe today the Third World War may happen, and I think God will help to protect the people, because it would be very catastrophic for humanity. Now, Russia is in war. Ukraine is in war. And when there are two parties who are fighting, there are always, for each party, some countries will support such a party. Another part will find other states who will support this part. I think there is competition of making weapons, nuclear weapons. So if it is possible, I want that UNHCR organize a high-level conference composed of the richest states to make, to decide how much money could be done to East African refugees to find food. It is very urgent. This point I'm saying, it is very important. And for the last question, the second question, you was asking me, what could I say to the politicians, to those in East Africa, to those persons who wanted to create conflict, war, insecurity, who does this insecurity, who finally push me to leave my homeland. So the message I could give them, You know Congo, you know Burundi. In Burundi, there are some political parties who don't want peace. I was telling you a few minutes ago that there are some politicians, some Burundian politicians, who tell, if I don't become president, there will never be peace. It is not normal. We can't, all of us, we can't not become president. We cannot become a minister. It depends on what you have done. Burundians, there are many persons with disabilities. There has been rebellion in the past. There has been army. There has been war. We know in Burundi since 1993, there has been war. After there has been an agreement for peace and reconciliation, there has been many laws, many agreements. So today, my message to give to all political parties in Burundi, my country, is that they have to think about the necessity to promote peace, because there is a necessity to promote peace, not necessity to promote war. It is no longer a necessity to promote war because there are laws. The Burundians may be together and understand what is written as laws, and may remember that in the past there has been a colonization. In the past, all Burundians were like one person to fight against the white who came in Africa to colonize Africa. There has been unity. Now I want to tell them that they have to think big about promoting peace using peaceful means. And also those politicians, leaders, they have to remember that to become a minister, to become a president, to become given a political, given authority, it will depend on what you will have done. And another message I can give to the political leaders now who are leading Burundi. I want to tell them that God helped them to find country, because CNDD-FDD has made fight for their right to go to study, to live as a human being, to promote democracy. There has been improvement since 24, 25. So Burundians, I want them to understand each other in order to avoid war, to avoid the rebellion. It is not now the necessity to promote war now. And for the refugees, the Congolese refugees, what I can give as message to Congolese political leaders is to think that even if there is gold there, if there is a soil which is rich, of course, but I want to tell them that first of all, they can build schools, we can study without going to make exploitation of the soil who is rich. We have first of all to study those natural resources. If now we don't have necessary skills to make exploitation for those minerals, we can cultivate, we can do other activities, and if we don't have factories, don't have many companies to make a good treatment of those natural resources, first of all, we have to study and we have to think that we are all Africans. Then we can avoid wars. To promote peace, it is the very great necessity today. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted, but yeah, thank you so much for that powerful message. Really, really profound. And then yeah, we do hope that peace supersedes everything in politics, in negotiations, in whatever like misunderstanding that may arise, especially when it comes to these sort of like mediations and interactions. All right. Just finally, does anyone have anything else to share? Our time is sort of fast spent, but if there's anything anyone would like to add, please feel free before we close.
Yeah, for me, just to say thank you to everyone. Thank you, Michelle, for your kind gesture and for joining us. Thank you, Desire, for coming on board. And we hope to further the engagement with you, beyond this conversation. Thank you. And well done to Gertrude.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Taiwo. And yeah, on behalf of the Global Activist Network, I'm so happy, and so it's an honor to have you here, Désiré, this evening to share your story with us and to engage further on how to resolve the refugee crisis generally, and with emphasis on women and children, of course. And going forward, like I said, we are here to support you, and yeah, please feel free to share with us in any way we can support you. And we would actually talk after this call on how to maybe help create sort of like a platform where you can share your work, and also we can help promote it from our end for people to donate to support your think tank and also the work that you're doing, which is amazing. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you to Michelle as well for being here. Michelle is a fellow activist as myself with the One Campaign, another incredible activist. So thank you so much, Michelle, for gracing our event today, our session today with your presence. Really appreciated. And that will be the end of our session today. Please do follow us on all our socials, Global Activist Network on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. We are at Gun Leadership on Instagram and Twitter. So if you are not following us, please do feel free to follow us, and we'll continue to share Changemaker stories and spotlight, and also how we can all join hands together to support people like Désiré as well in our coming sessions. So thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Really appreciate it, and we hope to see you on our next session. Thank you. Okay, so I was just